everyone, it's Steph here. I am so excited because it feels like spring. Today was about 45 degrees. It's not super warm yet, but after a long winter, 45 degrees pretty much feels like 70 degrees. All of the snow has pretty much melted in our yard. I was shocked at how fast it melted because we had so much snow. We've been getting so much snow, but it's been incredible because the moisture in my soil is pretty high. Last gardening season, it was completely dry when spring hit, so we're already off to a way better start, and I'm so grateful. It was kind of a long winter and hard for me. The last month I was going crazy, so this is magical. Springtime is my absolutely favorite season. I just want to be out here 8 hours a day, so I'm finally able to get out here. There is so much going on. I have so many chores that I've got to be doing. Anyway, so I'm just going to show you some of the early spring chores that I'm going to be doing, some of the fertilizer that I use, and some weed preventer. Also, all of my tulips are starting to pop up. I do have a video on the deer repellent spray that I use. It's all natural, organic. So I'm going to put that mix together and start spraying my tulips because the minute they start popping out of the ground, I need to get on top of them because the deer will eat those. So first I'm going to show you how I prune my roses. I'm just going to do a quick overview. If you want more details, go ahead and check out my other video. I'm going to start adding some compost around my roses and some fertilizer, and then I'll spray my tulips. And last but not least, I'm going to use that weed preventer. This is a really great way to keep weeds from even growing. You want to get on it really early, so as soon as you possibly can. It's called Pruning, before those seeds that kind of were left over from last year, some of those annual weeds, before they start to germinate. So I have never actually used the Preen this early, so I don't think it's been as effective in the past, but since I'm out here and a lot of those seeds haven't germinated yet, I think I'll have a lot better luck. So I'm just walking out in my yard and I've been doing so much cleanup. I think you guys would be amazed with how many sticks I get from these willow trees up here. So these are all starts, I think, that grew from one tree, but they line up this whole river. They're really great for the river because they're water loving, they create privacy, and they're good for the bank. But that is about it. I absolutely hate them. So I'm hoping someday in my dreams, we'll be able to cut them down like one at a time, plant some other ones, get them growing. That would be a ton of money and a lot of work. Actually, not a ton of money because my husband could do it, but can you imagine the amount of work it would be to cut these down? So I've been doing a lot of cleanup the last week or two. So a lot of boring stuff that I can't really highlight on YouTube very well, but look at the number of sticks. I'm just gonna show you. I will get just endless wheelbarrow loads of sticks like this and leaves every single year, and sometimes 3 times a year. So this has been really, actually, I don't mind doing it. It's a lot of work. This is even fun for me, but it seems like it's just never ending. This area I cleaned up really well. I know I'm getting off tangent. I'm gonna head to my roses over here. Got a little distracted, but if you watched my earlier video, I showed you how messy this was. So I've been doing a lot of work on this and getting it ready for a beautiful flower bed that I designed. I'm also thinking this would be an awesome seating area because this is my cutting garden, somewhere I can kind of come hang out, relax, drink a lemonade or something, make it my little oasis back here with some beautiful plants and gorgeous landscape. And then we had a run here for our chickens. We got rid of that because they never used it. So I'm cleaning up that area. Got to get rid of that doghouse. When we moved here, that was here. I'm trying to get my husband to get rid of it. He's been raising his little chicks in here. And I thought, just build something really cute for your little chicks. I just want to get rid of that. So tell him in the comments down below that he should build something super cute for the baby chicks. So look right here, you see this rose bud that is starting to pop out, but it hasn't leafed out. This is the perfect time to start pruning. If they have leafed out, it's okay. Still continue to prune them. This is one of the most important things you can do for your roses. Okay, so the first thing I do when I look at my rose is I just check for any dead branches. I don't see any actually. This one looks really healthy. Oh, here's one dead one. So I'm gonna cut out the dead one just because that makes your rose a little bit more prone to disease. And then I'll take out any weak, flimsy stems. Like right here is a weak, flimsy one because that's not gonna hold a bloom. So we don't need to have those in there. And then I'm just gonna cut, this is a newly established Dave Austin rose. So I'm gonna cut it down to about 15 inches just for structure, just to make it really strong, have a nice start. And then if you have a more established Dave Austin rose, 2 years or older, 3 years or older, this is a first year plant, go ahead and just cut them down by half. And then, yeah, that's about it. I'm not worried about any nodes at this point. So don't worry about this too much. Roses are really resilient. They just will put on so much growth, you'll be surprised. So you can prune them pretty heavily. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to add. This is my Emily Bronte rose. It's one of my favorites. My absolute favorite one from last year is the Lady Gardener, so I definitely recommend buying that if they're not already sold out. I do love having Dave Austins because when they're not in bloom, I feel like their bushes and their foliage are just a little bit prettier and a little bit softer than some of your other roses. So I'm just gonna cut these down. It's gonna be really quick. So I've already pruned about 10 roses. I was gonna show you this. This is so fun. I love pruning. Okay, it's looking really good. I got out all of the dead. I cut out some of those smaller, weaker stems. There was a lot of nice airflow through the center. And I'm sorry about the background noise. My husband is pruning down our cherry tree and using a chainsaw because it's a massive cherry tree. So I've got all of them done. They really are easy to prune. They're, like I said, don't be too worried about it. They're pretty resilient. So if you feel like you messed up, they'll recover. And every year you just want to make sure you do this. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all of these branches. In the past, I tell myself I'm gonna come back and get them, and then I never do. So I'm gonna be disciplined. I always regret it when I do that because I always end up forgetting these pokey branches are there and poke myself 5,000 times. Buy some good pruners, some good hand pruners. So Felco is my #1 recommendation. Get the F6 if you're a woman, your hands are a little bit smaller. That's what I would recommend. If you're a male, an F2 I think is the right number, but these things are amazing. It's worth the investment. If you want ones that are a little bit cheaper, the Coronas are really nice. You can get them on Amazon, but the Felco are the way to go. They're even nicer than the Corona, but the Coronas are really good mid-level pruner. Fiskars is on the lower end. I just feel like I keep buying those every single year. So I finally invested in some Felco, and I think I'll save a lot of money in the future. So those are great pruners and they get amazing reviews on Amazon. Look at this beautiful rich compost. This is actually one of my favorite things to do is go get loads of this. It smells heavenly. So I'm just gonna put a generous amount around this rose. So I don't actually have rose tone or plant tone here. I thought I had some. I gotta go buy some more, so I'll just sprinkle that a little bit later. It feels so good to know that I am nourishing this rose and that here in a short little bit I'm gonna have some beautiful roses. This is gonna put on a lot of growth, so I'm excited to show you the update on it. Okay, so I'm running out of daylight hours, so I'm trying to finish a few of my tasks. So I have my preen right here. I'm actually almost out of this too. I'm out of everything. I thought I had a lot more than I did. Look at this, it's just a measly amount. But I'm gonna actually sprinkle it where all of my tulips are because this is where I had so many weeds last year. This is the first year that I tackled this area. So when an annual weed grows, it's just like a lot of your annuals that you grow in your own flower bed, your beautiful flowers. They drop all those seeds and then they will re-germinate the following year. And so if I had pulled them out before they reseeded last year, I wouldn't be dealing with all of these seeds. So a lot of them haven't germinated yet, so I'm gonna sprinkle this. This is hopefully gonna keep them from germinating, like I said earlier. And then since I don't have any seeds that I'm trying to grow in here, it will be just fine. I just have the tulips. It's not going to bother tulips. I have some blue forget-me-not plants, not seeds. That will be fine. And so I'm just going to see how far I can make this go. Definitely going to have to buy more. I have a big yard, so I'll be covering a lot of space. So this is also the area where I'm going to be spraying. So look at all of these tulips that are popping up. I'm so excited. They're so little right now. These are the 1,000 tulips that I planted in fall. This was my worst project last year. The soil is so rocky. So I'm really excited to start adding some compost to the soil, and hopefully over time the structure will get a lot nicer. It's been kind of interesting. They started popping up mid-March. Last year it was about mid-February because our winter was so much more mild, but this is going to be so pretty. I think after they start popping up, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to see all of their blooms. So I cannot wait. I'm almost there. This is going to be a beautiful meadow of blue forget-me-nots. I have a pagoda bulb that naturalizes really well, and then all of these tulips that are pink and purple and white. I have some mid-spring blooming ones and some late spring blooming ones. I do notice in my climate, it seems like the deer don't really eat the tulips as much later on in the season, but it is a lot of work to spray them. I usually spray them every 5 days. Unless it rains, then I got to spray them again. So next year I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to add some fritillaria, which is a deer repellent. They don't like the smell, and some daffodils mixed in with my tulips so that hopefully I don't have to spray them nearly as much or not at all. I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier, and I love those bulbs, so I think they're really pretty. So I'm going to experiment with that this fall, mix in those 2 different bulbs. I'm not gonna spray and see what happens. Last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and get my deer repellent spray ready in my backpack sprayer. All I use is 1 gallon of water. This is what my mom used growing up. Works like a charm. None of my tulips got chomped down, not one last year, and my neighbors couldn't believe it. They thought maybe the deer just didn't come to my house, just to their house, so it was kind of funny. And then I put in some cayenne pepper with those eggs in water. I immersion blend it really well and put it in my backpack sprayer, definitely through the filter so it doesn't clog your backpack sprayer. And then I'll just go walk around and spray them, and then I'm gonna sprinkle that preen. I'm losing daylight hours. I'm not actually gonna show myself doing it because I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but I do spray out here in the dark. Sometimes at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, I'm out here spraying. If I forget, that's the most annoying thing. But since it's only every 5 days, it's not too big of a deal. And then, yeah, I'm done with my chores for today. This was so nice being out here. I hope you guys found any of this useful or helpful. If you're new to gardening and you don't know what you're supposed to be doing in early spring, there's a lot of different things I'm going to be showing you along the way over the next month and a half, 2 months. So keep following along, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for future videos, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.